I am super excited to be here with my 5-week-old. I am Kelsey Boss, a pediatric physical therapist and owner of Compleo. And today I'm talking about the things that I did differently with Ford here that I wish I had done with Scotty my first 5 years ago. Things I just did not know. The very first thing is I just went into it with less expectations. I think with our first, I had so many expectations of if I do everything right, he's gonna sleep, and um, the entire thing is gonna be beautiful and not stressful, and labor is gonna be perfect. All of those things, it's just never going to go as planned. So this time around, from the second I found out we were pregnant, I just put less expectations. I prepared for and prayed for what I would hope be our situation with labor and coming home. But I just didn't. I planned for the unexpected. And even though you don't know what's coming, just knowing that you can't control everything, I think takes some stress off of it. The second thing we did from day one with Ford that I wish we had done with Scotty is we were a little more restrictive of visitors. So at the hospital, we didn't let anyone come visit us until my husband and I had kind of had our time with him. We made sure our older son was the first person to meet him so that he felt special and included and wasn't coming in with all the grandparents. That was a really special moment, letting Scotty come in and meet him by himself and not kind of with our entire families. And your older one is going through so many emotions. They are so excited, but they are also going through a big adjustment. So making that moment and planning for that moment, I think, is really important, and set the tone for their interaction and set the tone that he is still just as important to us. Restricting visitors at home is something we have done as well. I didn't let everyone who wanted to come over. Your boundaries, there are no right or wrong reasons on what your boundary is for visitors. Just decide what you're comfortable with and don't be scared to advocate for that. So maybe I have friends who didn't want any visitors. I had friends who wanted family only, and I had friends who wanted anyone and everyone who wanted to come by. All of those things are totally okay as long as it's what you want. And planning for that ahead of time is really helpful. The next thing I have done differently is I've not stressed to be on a schedule. There's moms on call. There's lots of recommendations out there, and the schedules start as early as 2 weeks. And with our first, I thought we just had to start that schedule right away. And it was more stressful than helpful for my personality and for our first baby's personality. And so with Ford, we definitely are watching his feeding cues, his tired cues. He likes to be held all the time, which is why he is with me as we make this video. And so we are definitely listening to him and treating him as a newborn when it comes to sleep, but I'm not trying to follow a rigid schedule. And that has taken so much stress off. The last thing was having a team prepared going in. So I have an amazing lactation consultant who was ready to help us right away. I had a counselor lined up if I needed it. This time around, I haven't, but the first time around, I did have some postpartum anxiety that I wasn't prepared for. And so having a team in place ready to go is just the best thing that you can do to support yourself. The last thing I've done differently was I did take a little bit more time off of work. I am not the personality to sit still for a long time. And I think I was back treating patients at 5 or 6 weeks with my first one. And that is something that I have always regretted, and I did it a little more because I felt pressured to come back. And with this one, I've been asked to come into the office to treat a couple of patients, and I've held my boundary, and I'm not going to start treating patients again until 12 weeks postpartum. And I really encourage you, if you are in a position to set that boundary and hold that boundary, and you won't regret it. So comment below on things that you have done in your postpartum experience that made it easier and things that wish you had done differently.